Hey YouTube, Vulcanic here, and I'm here to do a tag. I got tagged by MG Villain. So this is for the reaction figure love. Why do you collect? And your favorite figure. Um, okay, for my favorite figure, I just put this stuff down so you guys had something to look at while I babble. Um, but oh, that's a hard question to say. I can answer it in a lot of different ways too. I guess up first as a collector, my favorite figure is the figure that I have not gotten yet, or the one that eludes me. You know, the one that I've been hunting. He's the one on my mind the most. Um, as uh, as for movie wise, it's tough because you got 6 movies, you know, and you got the clone series and all that, and each one of them I got favorites out of them all. You know, if you ask me in Empire Strikes Back, I would say, Boba Fett and the Bounty Hunters, and you ask me in Star Wars, I would be like Luke and Han and Chewie and C-3PO and R2, and I like them all. But you change over time. Over time, it's like media. You like one band for a while, and then you find a new band or a new reason to like another band that you haven't really noticed before, or another character that's storyline to open up that intrigues you. Your taste buds change in figures. So, I really don't have a favorite. I mean, I got things that are sentimental to me. If I were to put it on the sentimental list, I got some of my old vintage toys that I've had since I was a kid. But it's hard to question. I think Sci-Fi actually answered it the best, and when he said, which child do I choose? You love them all. It's just that's a real hard question. But yeah, I mean, I tend to have to say I like Mandalorians, I like the Siths, I like the Jedis, I like them all. For Clone Wars, Savage Opress or Savage Opress, he was one of my favorites, and Pre Vizsla too. So I mean each little thing brought something great to the great and added on to it. And then you got another view too, which is really hard because it changes your perception. Like say like XR Kun here. Do I like this figure as much because he's rare, or do I like him? I mean, if he was $10 and there was a million of them in the store, would I like XR Kun as much? And I like his storyline. He's cool. He's definitely awesome, but he doesn't, look like, he doesn't have some cool look like, Darth Nihil or Darth, Kryat without, some accessories and helmets and 2 sabers. But you know what I mean? It's a tough question, because rarity and the cost of the figure and how much you hunt it down too ends up to tend to change your perception on the figure and how much you like it and how much you dislike it. So I mean, there's a lot of little different factors in which figure would I pick. I'd have to say I'd pick them all, and that if I could answer it the best way I could is like, I don't have them all sitting here, but say Darth Nihil was my favorite character. Now doesn't he look cool standing there? Now all you have to do is this, and now isn't that even cooler? Now if I had Darth Talon on the other side, now that strikes a memory. So a lot of my figures, even though you might like this one figure, without the other figures around them, it doesn't finish the scene. It doesn't complete the memory, you know what I mean? So sometimes, my favorite figure is a set of figures, like, say, this Jedi Council. Do I like any one of these figures individual? Would I put up on a pedestal? No. No, but when I stick all of these figures in a ring together, put them on that little floor, that looks awesome. That strikes memories. I'm seeing the scene in Star Wars where, they're first bringing Anakin to Mason and Yoda, So, I mean, there's a lot of factors, and I keep saying that, but it's true, sculpt-wise, and then you gotta look at, like, sculpt-wise, too, like K. Crook, beautiful sculpt on this figure, but, everything has a different thing, and then you got accessories and what it came with, and, so much, it's tough. So I would have to say, I love my collection as a whole, as a complete. And if I were to put anyone on a pedestal, it's going to be the guy that I'm trying to hunt down or the guy I'm trying to find. Okay, now on to the next question, which was, why do I collect? And that's also going to be a similar answer. There's many reasons, why and what keeps me collecting. I had, I want no pity on me, but I was put in foster care at a young age, and I kind of felt like they had robbed my childhood from me. You know what I mean? And when I go to think back of good times and this and that, I think back of the only few Christmases I had, where I got Star Wars, and Star Wars was in the movie theater and stuff, and like that in itself is really hard to explain too. Like as growing up, we only had a black and white TV. We were poor, and when I went to go to the movie theater and see Star Wars, it was the first movie that I actually saw in the theater. So I was amazed, and it was actually the first color, film I've seen, and which blew my mind. And then you got everything else going on, which was, THX sound, and just, it was unbelievable. I can't explain that to anyone, especially younger generations. I mean, they understand it, but you had to kind of be there. It was explosive. It was like someone who invented sliced bread. It was just like, wow, it's just amazing, But and before that, we didn't really have a lot of sci-fi on TV. We had I think it was Battlestar Galactica and some Star Trek, Land of the Lost, and all that stuff. But I do look back, and I have a couple old pictures of some Christmases that were good. There was me when I was a kid, playing in the corner all by myself. But I used to always like to play by myself. I'd set up all my figures in a good scene, and a friend would come in, and I don't know, he would be like, boom, 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 and all of a sudden knocking all my figures over. It took me an hour to set up. I'd be like, yo, man, what are you doing? He's like, I killed you. You're like, no, you didn't. Your figure can't fly anyway. And I don't know. So I always like setting up my scenes by myself. But as you can see, there's my Shogun Warrior and my Godzilla, some bowling game. I can't make out what that blue figure is. I see a foot and something on his ankle. I'm not sure what that is. Can't figure out what those guys were either. I can't even see what I got in my hand. It's an invisible toy. But I was always trying to figure out which Shogun that is. So I was looking at Metawaba's collection, and a couple of them look so familiar. I also had the red Shogun Warrior. I remember the red one really clearly. I think he had 4 spikes on his head. And I love that Godzilla, though. I used to take that Godzilla with me everywhere. Millennium Falcon was also another toy that I dragged around with me like luggage, I love that thing. Here's another old toy there. That looks like the 12-inch Luke Skywalker. And then I'm opening up the... I don't know what that is, but it looks like it on the bottom, doesn't it? Yeah, that's the Earth thing or whatever from the Fantastic Four. That's got to be, something Marvel or something. As a kid too, I used to love the Tower of Doom. That was like one of my favorite playsets too. I'd always connect it to my Millennium Falcon. And let's see what we got here. That is, I don't know what that is. Doesn't he look kind of pudgy to be Darth Vader? Doesn't look like the 12-inch one. I can't remember what the box looked like, but that might be the 12-inch Darth. I don't know, but he looks legs look short or something. Doesn't look right on that one. Huh. Just to give you a time frame here. That's the Bionic Man, the $1 Million Man. Remember that figure? I don't know what these packages are in the front. They scream Star Wars to me, but I remember Star Wars used to come in white boxes. So I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what that is neither. Huh. And like I said, we only had a black and white TV, and that was I was watching that day, The Land of the Lost with the Sleeve Stacks. Used to watch that with the Scooby-Doo Hour and all that kind of stuff. But that was my TV. But that's that. So sometimes I collect to look at some of that stuff brings back childhood memories. But really, in all honesty, to bring back those memories, it's the vintage toys that does it. It's not really these toys. These toys have my own new memories. I build memories with each figure that I buy. Everything that I buy, links to that time period I lived in. So I can look at any one of these figures and remember exactly when I bought it and what I was doing at that time, and sometimes it's sometimes these figures strike memories that don't have to do with Star Wars whatsoever. It has to do with a family member or a best friend, gifted it to me. And I got figures in here, the MG Villain gave me, and I'll never look at them as whenever I look at those, I'll think of him. Hey, so it's cool stuff like that. But I love collecting. I do. I really do. I have a passion for collecting, and I have had bad luck. This is actually my third full collection that I've had to rebuild. When I was younger, I had an enormous amount of G.I. Joe and Star Wars and Transformers and GoBots and tons of other just old stuff from the 70s. Bionic Man and Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers. I had a lot of those toys packed up in a big old wooden toy box, and and then I got when I got sent into foster care and stuff, the parents had took that whole toy box and shot it in the garbage, and it was gone. So when I ended up getting out was like when I was 17 years old. When I came back here, the only toys I had left was what in my bedroom closet. So, and it wasn't much, but I still hang on to those. I still have them to this day, and so ended up getting my own house, and and I always told the girl I never had a problem with the girl scene. I immediately tell girls, if they like me or whatnot, I always tell them. I collect Star Wars. It's a big part of my life. It's a big part of me. It's who I am. If you don't like me collecting the Star Wars toys, then you're not gonna like me, and you shouldn't be with me. You know what I mean? And I'll find somebody that can deal with it. And I've always never had a problem with it. And I've always collected, and most of my ex-girlfriends or girlfriends would always support me in it and help me out whatever way they could. And so I was always collecting, even during the down season of Star Wars when there was nothing going on. I met an old man named Emery, and he was getting out of Star Wars, and he had enormous amount of vintage stuff, enormous, 2 or 3 sets of everything, Yak Face and Amen Amen, and all the good characters you want, and he ended up offering his whole collection to me for dirt cheap. So I was so happy. I had the skiff, I had everything. It was amazing, and he even threw me in a free Revenge of the Jedi poster, and my house ended up getting robbed in like '98 or so, and I had tons of Power of the Force stuff too. That's when I was being dumb and like building full like huge armies, 25 to 50, AT-AT drivers, and 25 to 50, stormtroopers, and 25, 50. I was just buying like crazy stuff at that time, and I had it all set up in a room. I had some awesome dioramas set up that I liked. Styrofoam made up a big Hoth scene, made up a big like street in Tatooine, and then I had like shelves and everything, and all the sealed figures were on the wall, and someone had broken the house, and they basically looked like they opened up some big bags and just swiped everything off the shelves. And mainly the biggest hit was the vintage, because they took almost all my vintage, because I didn't have much vintage that was sealed in the box. Most of it was all loose. So house and all that. So And most of the Power of the Forest stuff got all taken too, except for what little I had in the package. And so I had to rebuild again. So it was the third time in my life I've rebuilt it and hunted down these figures. And I'll tell you, when you lose a collection, whether you sell it, whether it gets stolen, or something happens, a fire and they burn up, it will haunt you. Oh, it will haunt you every night. It'll be in your dreams. The figures will cry out for you. I'm not lying to you, man. It's creepy. I just, if I want, in a way, I wanted to say, hey, now that I have no figures, it's lots off my back. I don't have all this stuff I gotta take care of and watch and protect and this and that, and it kind of felt a little bit free, but I got haunted. You can't live without it. If you're a collector, you're a collector. And I collect many things too. I also collect stamps and coins and stuff like that too. But there's a passion in collecting. There's a passion with connections to your past, present, and future. It's a beautiful thing. Some people don't have it. And we're lucky to have it. Because it's almost like you're taking a memory and you're putting it onto a flash drive. You know what I'm saying? Then you take it out of your head and then you put it over here, and then a year later you walk over and you're like, oh my god, I forgot about that. Oh, and it brings back that memory. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if you didn't have that figure. Would you ever get that with that memory? How long would it take before that memory would have popped in your head just normally? You know what I'm saying? So what we do is a good thing. I mean, some people may laugh, but to me it's like this is a memory storage bank for me. I can touch any one of these figures and I have a memory of when I got it, where I got it, who gave it to me. It's a beautiful thing, I think. I love collecting. I have a passion for it, and the community out here is so great too, and you guys are all great. So there's a lot of reasons people collect. Some people collect because they want to sell and stuff. I don't know if I'd ever sell my collection. I'd have to be really old and crippled and on a bed to where I couldn't enjoy it anymore. If I knew that it's kind of like if you have a sick animal or a sick dog you love a lot and it was dying, you want to put it out, you're not going to make it suffer. So if I was, at a point where I couldn't enjoy this collection, I would want someone to collect it to enjoy it, So I think that's how I would feel about it. But I don't know. I guess that's it for me. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and hearing my story, and thank you all, and thanks for all my subscribers and supporters. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and take care, everybody. I'll see you in the next video.